What's up, guys and girls? John Rettinger here with the review for you of the Palm Pre by Palm for Sprint. I've had a chance to use the Palm Pre for quite a while now. I've had it since launch day, and overall I've been really impressed with the phone, but we'll get to that in a minute. Since first and foremost this is a phone, let's talk about phone quality on the Palm Pre, particularly Sprint's network. While network strength is going to vary by region to region depending on where you are, where I am, I've got a very strong Sprint signal, and I can say that voice quality is absolutely fantastic on the Pre. People could not even tell I was on a cell phone. I couldn't tell they were on a cell phone. There was no white noise, there was no buzzing. It sounded almost landline quality. So overall, whether that's the Pre or Sprint's network, or more likely a combination of both, very impressed. If you're going to use this as a primary phone, you will not be disappointed. I filmed a previous video talking about 5 things I love and hate about the Pre, so I'm not going to go into detail about the best things and the worst things, but I'm going to give you an overview of the phone. So no real review of the Pre would be complete without a mention of WebOS, and that is the operating system that the Pre is running on. And I gotta say, it is really fantastic. The card management system, meaning the way that you multitask and manage your different applications and programs that are open, really is a fantastic implementation. The multitasking was quick, it was seamless, and most importantly, it actually became fun to use. So if you're looking for a device that you need to multitask on, the Pre really is a good way to go. And when I first started playing with the Pre, I kept thinking, why do I need to multitask? You know, I've been using an iPhone for the past couple of years and never really had a need for it. And the more I started to play with the Pre, the more I started to realize how important multitasking is. At least for me, I don't have that much time to get done what I need to get done on a mobile phone that don't involve calling, or that doesn't involve calling. If I need to send an email, or check a web page, or leave a comment, or reply, while that page is loading or doing things, I like to, be proactive. So ordinarily with an iPhone or another device, I would have to wait for a page to load or wait for an application to load. I can open up something else and I can work on something else while the page is loading. For example, if I want to check my email, I'm waiting for the email to load, I can check my Twitter page while I'm doing that, or reply to a comment. It really makes things nice and easy. Or if I'm looking at a PDF document with the built-in PDF viewer, if I want to reference a web page that's mentioned in the PDF, I can minimize it essentially, go to the web, look at the page that it's referencing, and come right back. The ways that you can use multitasking really are endless, and the Pre handles them very well. I had 12 cards open at once, which was fairly memory intensive, and the Pre handled it like a champ with no slowdown. I did experience slowdown when I got to 15 cards open. And really, if you have 15 applications open, you're probably going to have some bigger issues. One of the knocks on the Pre has been battery life. People are saying battery life is not very strong on the Pre, and that's both true and false. And in my experience, was both true and false. So battery life, when you don't leave cards open, is actually fantastic. I was able to get through a full day, no problem, with around 40% charge. And that's with browsing web pages, that's with making phone calls, even using Sprint's navigation. But when you leave cards open and you lock the phone and put it back in your pocket or your purse or wherever you keep it, you're still using system memory, and system memory uses battery. And that's where you're going to notice a significant battery drain. So if you leave even one card open, whereas at the end of the day I would have 40%, I would now have maybe 10 or 15%. So if you use proper battery management and proper program management, you'll have no problem getting a full day's use out of the Pre. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the integration, the synergy that Palm is calling. Essentially what that is it integrates all of your contacts, all of your email, and all your calendars really into one master list. You have the ability to control what that is. And that was one of the things that sounded kind of gimmicky to me, but now that I've actually seen it in practice, it's really become invaluable. For example, I use Google Calendars a lot. Anytime I go into Google Calendars and make a change on my calendar, it automatically gets sent to the Pre. Now that's nothing revolutionary. A lot of devices will sync wirelessly with Google Calendars. But I also use Exchange Server. So when I want to update my Exchange calendar, it gets updated in the same calendar as well, which is quite nice. And all of my Gmail contacts and all of my contacts in Exchange aren't stored in separate contact lists, stored just in one master list. It really makes it nice and easy for content, contact, and calendar management. Try saying that fast. Content, Contacts, and calendar management really is quite nice on the Pre. So as far as I'm concerned, the Palm Pre and the Web OS is a network good, meaning something that gets more value the more people use it. And that's really one of the detriments of the Pre is right now the Web OS is available on one device, on one carrier, which actually happens to be one of the smallest carriers in the US, that of course being Sprint. So the inherent value of a device like this is going to lie in the hands of developers, whether or not they want to spend their time developing for it to help the device reach its full potential. And if there aren't a lot of people using it, if it doesn't have that wide adoption, developers aren't going to come flock to it like they have to the iPhone and particularly the App Store. But if this is released for other carriers like it's rumored, and if the operating system makes a leap to other form factors, other devices, the Palm Pre has Web OS has a lot of potential, and the Palm Pre being the launch device, I think is really going to usher that in. The screen on the Palm Pre is capacitive, much like the iPhone and the G1, although I will say it was not as responsive as the iPhones. Sometimes I have to push things really almost hard with the fat part of your finger to let it know you're making contact. It's not always, but I will definitely say that it was not as responsive as the iPhone. Resolution-wise, it's the same as the iPhone. They're both bright. You can watch videos on it fantastically. Really, the screen just pops out at you, so no problem there on the screen at all. Hardware-wise is another knock people had on the Palm Pre. They thought the hardware felt flimsy. And I think the hardware-wise, I'm actually very impressed. The slider mechanism can oftentimes feel cheap and can break, but in the now almost 2 weeks that I've had the phone, the slider mechanism still feels sturdy, and I love the way the phone feels in the hand. That sort of pebble feeling that it's got in it really just makes it nice and, again, fun to hold. It fits in your pocket, no problem. It doesn't create a big lump. It's just a very nice thin profile. Having a full QWERTY keyboard has also been very nice, although the keyboard on the Pre is relatively small and it's definitely going to take some getting used to. Ordinarily I would say don't worry about it, the autocorrect will take care of any fat thumb errors, but at time of this filming the Pre does not have autocorrect, which is a little bit on the annoying side. I do think that Palm and Sprint will update it to support autocorrect or some sort of dictionary system, because this can be updated over the air with firmware. So I think that there are a lot of changes coming to the Palm Pre, and I think that auto update will certainly be one of the biggest. So there are a ton of things that I can talk about in this video, and I've done a really 7 or 8 or 9 video series on different features of the Pre. So for more particular information, definitely check that out. But generally and overall, I can say the Pre has been fantastic, and I'm excited by the potential of the platform and of the device. I think this is the first true competitor to the iPhone. I know it's hard to not compare this to the iPhone, but on its own merits, on its own legs, the Palm Pre really stands tall and really stands proud, almost above the competition. I think that it's a robust operating system, it's a full-featured smartphone, it offers really a lot of killer features that I've been very happy to use and I've enjoyed using. Things like the gesture control on the bottom and the launcher when you swipe up on your finger really are just great features that augments a fantastic operating system. And the fact that this is only a first release, again, is a very exciting possibility, is to think about what Palm might do in the future with other updates and other devices. So overall, do I recommend the Palm Pre? 100% I can recommend the Palm Pre to you. I definitely recommend that you look at the Pre if you're considering an iPhone 3G or a 3GS. You may prefer the iPhone operating system, but you owe it to yourself to look at the Pre so you can see what device is best for you. That is assuming that you get Sprint service. I think they are really close rivals. Now, is this going to be my daily driver? I don't know. Right now it is, and I'm enjoying using it. With the iPhone 3GS, I may switch back and give that the daily use that I had with previous iPhones. But I have to say, if I do continue to use this as my regular phone, I will not be disappointed. Browser-wise, everything, it's a fantastic device. On a 1 to 5 scale, I give the Palm Pre a really solid 4 3/4. It's just missing a few key features that I like to see, like I mentioned, the autocorrect, and some sort of on-screen keyboard as well. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. What are your thoughts about the Palm Pre? Are you going to consider it in place of an iPhone or a G1 or any other new smartphones that are coming out this summer or in the future. Or you're not even going to give it a shot. You know, I think it's worth definitely looking at. So guys, for exclusive content, be sure to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/John4Lakers. You can ask me questions there, and sometimes I have giveaways or announce live shows. So I think we have a good time. So check it out, link in the sidebar, and I will see you guys in the next video.